Hey everybody, Tommy here, World at War Comics, and back again, my good friend Mr. Chris Reda. He is the founder of Critical Entertainment and the writer-creator for several titles, one being The First Americans, one of my favorite titles, but they do a whole lot of stuff. So please go below and check out their website. But here we are to talk about a bunch of new releases through Critical Entertainment, including some movie updates that are based on some of the stories through Critical Entertainment. I think you're going to really enjoy this one. Back again, Mr. Chris and I. Enjoy, everybody. Hey, everybody. Welcome to World at War Comics. Back again, my good friend, Mr. Chris Reda. He is the owner of Critical Entertainment, writer, creator extraordinaire. Chris, it's always great to see you, man. Always love when I bump into you at a Comic-Con. But man, I'm always glad to have you on, and we have a lot to talk about, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, Tommy. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. You know how much I enjoy your titles, so I can't wait to dig in on some of the new information. But before we get into that, man, we were kind of talking before the I hit the record button, but outside of some of the stuff that we talked about, how's everything going from a critical entertainment standpoint this year?
It's going pretty good. We're doing pretty well with the First Americans. Um, Planetary expansion still going through. We'll talk a little bit about Zombie Zero and our film option with that.
Nice.
Mason's working on has a screenplay for one of his books as well. So, we're chugging along here. We got Comic-Con coming up, so a lot on the horizon.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm gonna try and make San Diego. I just gotta get a ticket. But if I could get a ticket, I'll be there. So hopefully I get to see you, man. I always enjoy seeing you there.
Yeah, no problem. I get some extra tickets. So.
Oh, very good. We'll talk after it, man.
Well
See what I have
done.
to do for you, man, in order to get a ticket.
Uh,
Well, let's jump right in, man, because you do have a lot going on. We were talking a little bit before. I know, everyone's kind of figuring out what's going to happen with Diamond. It sounds like things are starting to iron out, so hopefully things kind of calm down a little bit, especially for, larger indie publishers like yourself. But we were talking about sales, and every time I'm in a shop and I see something from Critical Entertainment, I snap a picture and send it over to you. And I'm finding your comics in California, Arizona, Texas. I'm always on the lookout to see one of my favorite titles is obviously First Americans. Planetary Expansion is amazing, but yeah, man, I'm seeing your stuff everywhere. And we were kind of talking, as far as sales go, it's like a steady rise every single month for you guys, right?
yeah, so pretty much every month our numbers keep growing, and yeah, I'm seeing us in a lot more shops, especially this year. I kind of browse through Instagram and all the new comic book day things, and I'm just looking for my covers, like, oh, there it is, and then I kind of just add them onto a list.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I'll send them some promo stuff and things like that. But yeah, and then I have a lot more retailers who reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, I'm out of the First Americans. Can I get 10 more copies of this?" Or it was back ordered. Can you ship me some? So, from the retail comic book retailer standpoint, we're doing really well. And yeah, just trying to get into comic book shops, have that little place on the shelf.
Exactly, exactly. Well, maybe we should go through some of the new titles that are up and coming. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pull up what you sent me because we have quite a bit of stuff to talk about, which I'm really excited about. So let's jump right into here, man. Obviously, Warrior Spirit from you and Alonzo.
Yeah, so this was kind of like one of my first shorts that I did, but I never really put it through distribution. So it's a nice little 16-page short, small sample size. We do a lot of shorts here at our company, so thought we'd throw that out there. And
Yeah,
it's
covers.
a $3 price point, so very retailer friendly, low risk for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it gives people kind of a taste of what's coming. So I love that idea. So I'll make sure I put all this below too, Chris. That way we make it easy. We'll put the lunar code and the diamond code down there. That way, if you want to pick this up, you could just take that code right to your comic shop. 95% of the comic shops are pulling from both diamond and lunar. So either one of those codes should work for you. But I wanted to kind of get so that's Warrior Spirit. It is a one shot, right? So is there
Yeah,
to do something a little bit more robust, or the 16 page is really the short story and that's it?
it's just a short story. There
Gotcha.
wasn't, too much more to it.
Yeah.
Uh, Almost like a little bit of a prelude to the first Americans,
Oh, okay.
sort of, there's some saber-toothed cats in there and stuff.
Nice.
But, I made this way before the first Americans.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Well, let's talk a little bit about Planetary Expansion because this is one of those titles that does have a lot of story already. And I love this title, man. A bunch of people trying to, start a whole new life, man. Can you kind of walk us through issue 4 and what fans could expect with that?
Yeah, so it's an ensemble piece, and what you see on here, it's a reoffer of Planetary expansion number 4.
Mhm.
So you probably by next Monday, next Tuesday is probably the final order cutoff. Um, so, issue 4 is kind of where they're on the ship and they're getting ready for launch. And then the United Nations are trying to stop them, right? Trying to stop them from launching. So that's that one. It follows some of the individuals, right? It follows a few of the different characters. The main character who's kind of still on the run. He runs into a few people from his past and then gets in a fight with them. So that's issue 4. Um, Technically, issue 5 just recently came out.
Mm.
Sometime this month, early this month, I
I
think
haven't
it
gotten
came
5
out.
yet. I have to get that 5 then.
Yeah, and then 6 comes out. It comes out in the middle of next month,
Okay.
sometime in the middle of next month through Lunar and Diamond. Um, but really, right now, we also have the trade that collects issues 1 through 6. That's in solicitations right now through
Nice.
Lunar and Diamond.
So we'll
And
put that code down below too, Chris. That way, if someone wants to just grab the trade, that way you have that at least that arc already ready before 7 comes out. That'd be cool.
yeah, and then, the trade's always important to us. And, any indie publisher, the trades are really kind of where you get the better margins. So,
Yeah.
you know, we have that coming out. It's like 260 pages, so it's a nice thick book. Um, and we've had this for a while now, and we're ready to get this through Lunar and Diamond.
Nice, nice. I love it. All right, so my favorite title coming out, issue 3, The First Americans. I absolutely love this title. You and Tad, we had Tad on the program. I think the last time you both were on, we were talking
Yeah.
First Americans issue 2, which was a banger. I mean, Tad is just so talented in the storytelling. I absolutely love it. I'm a history buff, anyways, and I know that you have worked extremely hard doing your background study in order to put this title out, and it shines through, my friend, man. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, The First Americans has kind of been one of our most popular books. It's the one that's most ordered by retailers. And yeah, we finally have issue 3 coming out. We have a cover B by Kraig Rasmussen. So, we're kind of branching out a little bit and having some other cover artists on a few of our books as well. He really loved the story, so I threw him on for cover B on this.
Yeah. I don't blame you, man. I mean, if you're a Conan the Barbarian fan, although the story is much different, you still get that kind of vibe, right? These are definite warriors. When you see, 14,000 years ago, as people are coming from like Siberia and making their way down into the Americas, what they went through just to survive from meal to meal. And then the unknown too, right? Being in a new land with new threats, and then how they handle all those threats. It's absolutely incredible, man. I love it. The emotion certainly comes through. Tad does a really good job of bringing all of that forward, and some of the fight scenes on some of the animals that they get involved with are pretty cool as well.
Yeah, so like the title of this one is Lost Part One. So we're kind of dealing with the challenges of being in a whole new country and a whole new land where, they have kind of their ways of trying to navigate and figure out where they've been. So like they would have things like supply caches in case they get lost and they could come back to them. So we'll see how he navigates. You know, he kind of got in a fight in issue two, and he had to run away. So he's kind of like, where am I? How do I get back to where I was going?
Yeah.
So that's the main storyline in this next issue.
I love it, man. I love it. Yeah, that's going to be a banger, and that's I think out of the few stores I've sent you pictures where I found it, First Americans and obviously Planetary Expansion. Those two titles I've seen everywhere, man. So congratulations on all the distribution. If you haven't picked up these two titles, talk to your comic shop right now and make sure that they're ordering them. You're going to enjoy both of them. They're really really good, really good.
And I can show you some other covers that we've had since, you know, we sold out of cover A. So
Okay.
we have a cover B that was offered in shops.
Yeah.
Um, which is it's nice to have like a cover B. I'm basically almost out of cover A. I sell a bunch. I sell a bunch through our website.
Yeah.
So we have maybe 50 copies left out of, you know, printing a few thousand. And then we have kind of like a C cover. This was the Kickstarter cover.
Okay.
This was the Kickstarter cover. So I have some of these, but you know, I'm saving them for other Kickstarters.
Sure.
And, and then issue two, once again, we sold out of issue two. That one, I don't have any copies left. So we have this B cover of this wolf that Tad did.
Yeah.
So that's the only one that we have available right now in terms of the normal price. And then this is the cover C that Tad wanted to do.
It's
And
crazy.
this is more of a limited print run, only to 150. Uh, a few more bucks than the other cover, but not like too crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, our website still sells a bunch of the First Americans, which is nice. And yeah, when they come out through Diamond and Lunar, there's people who can't get them in their shop, so they just go on the website and order them.
I love it, man. It's a good problem to have. Good problem to
Yeah.
have. Well, what is this cover right here? I saw these covers right here on the right, man. Those things look insane.
So the right one is the cover B by Kraig.
Okay.
And the center one is the A cover by Tad Galusha here. So
Those
those are that's issue three.
they look amazing, man.
And then yeah, you can see a few of our other books there too.
Yeah. No, I have Space Dragon, I have Minion. So I have quite a bit of these, but yeah, First Americans, man, I can't wait for issue three of that one. That thing is amazing.
Yeah, and then Tad will start getting working on issue four.
Yeah.
You know, issue three is a 40 pager, and then issue four is going to be much larger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's you know how issue two was larger than issue one, so that's kind of what we have. You know, issue one's almost a setup, and then two's larger, three's going to be a little bit more of a setup, and then pay off in four.
Nice. Nice, nice. Do you know how many issues you have planned for that yet, or you just still kind of working on the story past issue?
Probably eight.
Okay.
Yeah, probably around eight. You know, as many as I can get Tad on.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I told the Eisner committee it's going to be more of a continued series if it's this popular, you
Yeah.
know, so I can have stuff planned after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully Tad's still on it, man. He's a big part of that too. And when we were on last time, which I'll put the link of our last time that you both were on,
Yeah.
Tad's quite passionate about this storyline as well. He lives in Alaska, and like you, he's done a lot of study on the history. And between you two, man, the story is just it's so good, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I think just the nice thing is it's a different genre and time period than you see with a lot of comics,
Yeah.
you know. Um, there's always the superhero fatigue, I
Yeah.
feel like. But we still have a superhero series too coming up. But I mean, just the First Americans, it's really different. I feel it stands out a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more, Chris. Well, what else is going on with Critical Entertainment? I mean, I always see you at San Diego Comic-Con. Are there other cons too that you have planned out over the next few months, either before or after San Diego?
So we'll have LA Comic Con again, and we did Emerald City this year.
How was that for you?
It was good until my condo flooded while
Oh
I was
yeah, I
gone,
remember
right?
that.
Like we talked earlier. It's a long drive from Los Angeles.
It is.
I'm going to try to go back next year, maybe fly,
Yeah.
have maybe a smaller booth. We're we're applying for Chicago and New York.
Is that
Um,
C2E2?
yeah, C2E2. So we'll likely get a booth at C2E2 next year. Mason's moved out to Maryland, or not to Maryland, he moved out to Delaware.
Okay.
So we're going to have a little bit more of an ability to be on the East Coast.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean he could hold product there too. So shipping is always the tough thing whenever you're trying to set up. So
yeah, it's the hardest stuff, shipping books and,
yeah.
trying to coordinate, and it gets really expensive. And so he can just have supplies for East Coast and some inventory for East Coast and drive out there, and I'll handle the West Coast stuff. Um, we're applying to New York too. I got to see how the space works there. If it seems like it's harder to get into than C2E2. So
Yeah.
we might have to wait till like exhibitor space opens up.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to hear back from them. So we're trying to sneak into the big East Coast conventions as well.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I've never been to New York, but I've been to C2E2. And I feel like C2E2 is very comic central. Whereas, you have San Diego, which is awesome, but you got a lot of fans of anime. You have a lot of moviegoers that want to go there just to see the panels with all the movie stars and stuff like that. Whereas C2E2, it seemed like that section with all the creators, the writers, artists, it was packed nonstop, and I loved it. It was amazing. All the big names are
With
there.
comic book lovers,
All the
yeah.
comic book lovers are there, and they had a lot of comic book shops that were there too. So a lot of back issues, even some like Golden Age. I mean, some very expensive books were there because it is such a comic book central, style of a con. Obviously, they have anime and they had everything else there, but comic books kind of rule there. Whereas at San Diego, it's awesome, but it's one of a lot of things you could do there if you're a fan of.
Yeah, it can be hit or miss. Even WonderCon too, and LA Comic Con. Uh, I did free comic book day at Four Color Fantasies right in
Oh
San
yeah.
Bernardino.
Yeah,
I do that
yeah.
every
It's in
year.
Ontario, right? Ontario.
Yeah,
That's an awesome
yeah.
shop, by the way. I
Close.
love that shop. I
Yeah,
miss not being out there.
Chris is great out there, and we sell a lot of books there because the people who show up
Yeah.
want comic books. You know what I mean? So when you're at WonderCon, it's sometimes just like you'll talk to someone like they'll be like, "I don't read comics."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
welcome to the comic convention.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
exactly. Yeah, I feel like so much has been layered on top, and I understand why. I mean, there's so many other kind of genres that fit, like anime and stuff like that, and manga. But yeah, I mean, I always love going to a con, and it's just very comic book friendly. And from what I've heard, just from people who go to New York, New York is the same way. It's more comic than anything else. So if and when you do go there, it's a little bit more expensive, but the payoff is much greater because people do go there just for comic books. So I think that's probably number one. C2E2 is probably number two, just from what I'm hearing. Some of the other ones, they have a big blend of like here at Dallas at Fan Expo. I mean, Michael J. Fox is there. John Cena is going to
oh,
be
interesting.
there. So they have some pretty big names. So my assumption, I haven't gone yet. Obviously, I'm going tomorrow. It's going to be more like a San Diego where you have kind of a blend of everything. They have quite a large manga and anime section as well. So we'll see how it is. But I'm excited because now I live in Texas. So it took me 3.5 hours to drive here from my house.
Before. I mean, it gets a little sad seeing less and less actual publishers at these comic conventions. We were talking about Mad Cave. They were at Emerald City.
Yeah.
Stranger Comics were there. We were there, but even Image wasn't there, and IDW, and they're based off in the north. Some of them are based in the Northwest. Dark
Yeah.
Horse wasn't there, so
Dark Horse wasn't there?
no, they weren't there either.
Because
So
they're in Portland, right? That's where they're
yeah,
headquartered.
yeah, they're in
That's a
Portland.
hour and a half drive. I'm surprised.
It's a lot of work, I guess, and
It is. And their booths aren't tiny, like Dark Horse and Image. They usually have a pretty decent size section. So maybe just the cost to do it right for them maybe doesn't make sense. Who knows? But Dark Horse, there's no reason why they shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
At Rose City, at least. I mean, that's in their backyard. I would think they would be
yeah.
the prime publisher to kind of launch that one.
I mean, I'd like to do Rose City too at some point,
I heard
I
that
mean,
one's awesome. I got to
that
get, I've
one,
never been to those two, but I heard they're great.
yeah. No, Emerald City is always really good. It's just the distance is hard. I drove and it was
Like
17
14,
hours of
17 hours. Yeah. Yeah.
oh, it's a lot.
Did you do it yourself or did your wife go too?
Oh, I did it myself. I did
Yeah.
it myself. I stopped by some shops in NorCal and like Oakland,
Yeah.
uh, Ca- Cape and Cal Comics, stuff like that.
Nice.
Networking, drop off bookmarks, that kind of stuff.
Sweet. Sweet. I love it, man. That's awesome, Chris. Pretty cool, man. Well, what else do you have planned, man? You were talking about Mason, and some news around him. You were talking about Zombie Zero. Can you kind of give us a little bit more on that?
Yeah, I mean, for you know, Mason's stuff, he's working with a producer and they collaborated on making a screenplay.
Nice.
So they have a screenplay done, I believe, and they've been doing some of the festival circuits with it. They won like an award down in San Diego for the screenplay.
Oh,
So
wow.
so that's kind of cool. We'll see where that goes.
Have
So
they
that's
released what the title is or anything like that, or is it not
it would
ready?
just be Lifeboat, you
Oh,
know.
Lifeboat. Yeah, I
It's
have
based on
Lifeboat.
Lifeboat,
Oh,
um,
nice.
which, grabs a lot of people's attention.
Yeah.
So, he's working on that. And then, yeah, Zombie Zero. Um, we had the trade that came out through Diamond, one of our first things that we came out through Solicitations.
Yeah.
This is optioned over at Patriot Pictures with Michael Mendelsohn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have director, Kevin Lewis, set to direct it. He did the screenplay with his friend Michael Bondi's. So um, that's been optioned for a while,
Yeah.
pretty much right before COVID. And then there was COVID and the actor strikes and, just the general film business. And it takes a while to get going. So, that's been making some momentum. Um,
Good. That's exciting.
and we're gonna wait till more news of the film comes out and stuff and maybe re-release it with single issues and stuff like that. And
That'd be,
we're gonna be working on a Kickstarter for a hardcover edition.
oh,
So that's kind of our next Kickstarter is working on a hardcover. Um, the trade paperback, we were all sold out from our first print run.
nice.
So that's usually one of our best sellers. So the fact that we kind of are out of copies really hurts because we usually move through
Yeah.
almost a box of them through, each big Comic Con and stuff like that. So we need some more copies of it. So we'll do a hardcover,
Yeah.
add some more art pages, throw some script pages in there.
Yeah.
Um, we take the covers and we make it so they're color inside since the trade's all black and white.
Yeah.
It
That'd
saved
be
us
cool.
money. But now, well, for the hardcover, we'll have the color covers in there.
Nice, nice. That's awesome. Do you have a launch date on the Kickstarter yet or not yet?
Not yet, I mean, it's our second Kickstarter. Um, so I just learned that you have to ship and fulfill all the old Kickstarters before you start a new one.
Yeah.
So I have it all set up. Um, but yeah, Kickstarter's like, hey, you got to finish
Yeah.
shipping all this stuff. And I was like, uh-oh, I haven't printed everything yet. So I can't do the pre-launch yet. Either
Yeah.
way, it won't come for a little bit. We're gonna probably wait,
Yeah.
until there's a trailer or something or
Okay.
more news on the film.
Yeah.
But it's in the works. It's probably been our best-selling book outside of The First American. So it'll be nice to have a nice hardcover edition of it.
100%, man. It's another great title. That was your first title, right?
That was one of my first like series titles after some
Yeah.
shorts.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just an easy sell. People love the zombie genre. Um, and then, when they learn, the story's basically about the last zombie at the end of a zombie apocalypse. Like that line just always grabs people. They're like,
Yeah, for
oh,
sure.
it's not the beginning. Oh, okay. And then they learn it's not really like The Walking Dead or,
Yeah.
your usual kind of like zombie story. Um, and the reviews have always been really good on it. So, for us, it's re-releasing a book that's been popular, I think one of the problems with some comic book publishers is they'll just release a book, put it on a shelf, and then they'll move on from it,
Yeah.
you know. And there's so many like great books that you never hear from again, you
Yeah,
know.
that's true. That's true. Very true, man. It's kind of sad, but it happens. It happens.
It happens a lot, and some people think, oh, once it's released in stores, you're done with it,
Yeah.
So I mean, even the first Americans, we've released issue one,
Mm.
uh, again, sort of like, the B cover,
Yeah.
and it came out through Diamond first, and then we came out through Lunar. So, I tr- I'm trying to keep away from the Marvel DC model, you know what I mean? Like it's the whole industry kind of follows it, and you miss so many cool independent titles because it's just like, oh, it only got released once, and it's hard for a Boom or an Image to keep marketing like another book that's not like one of their main series.
Yeah. No, very true. Very true. Well, it seems like whatever you're doing is working because you do have that growth month after month. So congratulations on that, man. You have some amazing titles that continue to come out. And I'm seeing them in shops. So that's every, I think, indie publisher's dream is it's one thing to do Kickstarters and get your
Yeah.
that way. But if you could walk into a shop and see it, I think that's always pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it's been a fun journey. It's hard.
Yeah,
It is difficult. The indie world's difficult, but we're cracking into some of these bookstores, and being through Diamond Lunar have been really great for us.
that's amazing, man. So the next con you'll be at is San Diego is your next one then, right?
Yeah, the next one's San Diego, the big one, and then LA's in October. I
Yep.
believe LA's in October. And
Yeah.
then we start the cycle all over
All over
again.
again. Well, maybe Rose City next year.
Yeah, maybe Rose, but at least Chicago and then hopefully New York.
Yeah, hopefully New York. Yeah. New York would be awesome. So you're trying to get in for next year, not this year in New York.
I need to hear back about this year if they
Oh,
give
okay.
us a spot, but
Yeah.
likely next year, right? Because usually the best time to apply is right when they finish the year, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
right when they finish a show, and then you apply for next year. So I really kind of applied late for New York.
Yeah.
Um, but with Mason now on the East Coast, we're going to apply early. I applied early for Chicago.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just trying to expand, get more readers, get more, retailers to carry us,
Yeah.
try to get bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you going to drive to Chicago?
I'm not driving to Chicago.
I was going to say, man,
I
it's more than
I've
14
driven
hours.
I've driven to Indy and the East Coast and all that stuff. I'm getting a little too old for that now, or oh cool, I'll drive for 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
No problem.
When we moved to
Um,
Texas, it's 17 and a half hours from where I live to where I live now. And we drove here with our U-Haul and then we had to go back. So I've driven it like 6 or 7 times. And then I had a conference in Palm Desert. So I'm like, oh, I'll just drive. That was a mistake. I should have just flew, man. Just trying to save
Yeah.
some dollars, but I was like, ah, that's not worth saving money, man. Can't walk when you get there and your back hurts, your legs hurt. It's amazing. Just
Yeah.
to do that to you.
That's what I did with Seattle. I was just driving up there and I was like, I might not be able to do this every year anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not like 30 anymore where
Yeah,
it's easier. But
exactly.
getting the comics there is the hardest part, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, for
So,
sure. For sure. Yeah.
maybe I'll just fly and take an extra bag and throw some books in there and pay an overdraft fee,
Yeah.
overweight fee, something.
It's worth it, man. Trust me. I think it's worth it if you do that. But you have a lot of titles though, so it's a little bit more expensive for you than I think some indies. It makes it tough.
Yeah, and then after the trade for Planetary comes out, we'll wait a little bit. I have issues 7 and 8 done.
Okay.
Um, I'm writing issue 9.
Nice.
Um, issues, I finished writing First Americans, 3's almost out. 4 I finished writing, so Tad's working on that. I got to write 5, 6, 7, and 8, so
Yeah.
I can kind of get that out of the way. And the other project I'm kind of working and writing is there's Minion, right?
Hmm.
There's Minion that I have with Mason that's continuing. And then I'm writing a screenplay for The Cowboy with Many Hats,
Oh yeah, I got that one.
right?
That's cool.
Um, I got a lot of people who are like, "Oh, are you going to do issue two? Are you going to make it a series?" And I've had some producers interested in it. So I figured I'll write the screenplay
Hmm.
and then I'll just hand it off to Tad when I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I'll kind of like adapt it the other way where I'll do the screenplay and then I'll write the comic script of it and hand it off to Tad when he's done with the First Americans. So
Nice.
that's kind of my plan, working with him.
Nice, nice. Yeah, Ted's a good dude, man. Great,
So
great
yeah, I
artist.
have a lot to write right now. I've been kind of busy this year, so
Yeah.
it's been hard to even just find time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have 6 issues of Minion done.
Wow.
That's already done, so we're kind of waiting to release that. I have Dustin Wynn. He's going to do a variant cover for us
Ooh,
too.
love Dustin, man.
Yeah,
Incredible.
so he's a hot artist right now.
He's been hot for a long time, man.
Yeah, I know.
I had him on the podcast about 4 months ago, and I still talk to him
Yeah,
once in a while. But yeah, I saw him at well, obviously San Diego. He's there, but I think he goes to C2E2 too. If
he
I'm not
goes to he goes to a lot of he
Yeah.
goes to a lot, almost all of them. He's even done
I hope he's here in Dallas. I didn't see his name on the page of guests, but that doesn't mean anything because sometimes they release that early, and then more and more artists as they say, "Hey, I'm available." They're like, "Oh well, we'll take you, and they'll find room for you." So we'll see what happens. But I mean, his line is usually pretty long. He's such a talented artist, incredible
Oh,
artist.
he's a great artist, and I always go, hey, like you have to do the convention circuit. Look at this guy; he's well established, and he goes to all these shows.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I know
so
Ryan
he's
Otley's here. He goes to almost everything, as he should. I mean, he's
yeah,
literally has the hottest comic book right now with Battle Beast. I think they
battle.
sold
Oh
like
my
half
God,
a million copies for issue one. It was insane. But I mean, with Invincible, with the TV series, the animated series being so popular, obviously Invincible has gotten this new life. You can't even find a back issue anywhere just because
interesting. Yeah, you can't, huh?
they're
Uh,
expensive. Issue one is worth about 5 grand now.
no,
I have the
Uh,
whole run, so I'm so excited. I'm like, keep going, baby. I'm done.
keep it
I got mine
going.
like 8 or maybe 10 years ago. I got my full run and I was, collecting it every month. But Battle Beast was a lot of fun, man. It's like a mindless, just beat 'em up, blood everywhere kind of thing. And I loved it, man. I dug it. And I love Ryan Otley's art. I think he's so talented, man.
Well, for us, hopefully, Zombie Zero gets made into a film,
Yep,
and then hopefully that can be popular, and that will be kind of our strategy, right?
100%.
Um,
That's how you do it, man. You're in Hollywood,
that's what's hard about the indie scene, you
Yeah.
really kind of do have to break through TV and film to, look at The Walking Dead and, the
Walking
rest,
Dead and Invincible, Kirkman's got a couple bangers that already happened. And I know he's kind of like he's made his way into Hollywood with the animation. So he's working on other things, I'm sure, too, because I don't know how he does it, man. He runs Skybound, he's got the animation, he's doing video games, and he's starting to do film. So we'll see. I know they have a live action plan for Invincible, but I'm not sure you even need it. I think the animated series, you just keep going with that. Um, but we'll see. Some of the movies from DC and Marvel have kind of struggled. So to take that chance with an indie, maybe it'll do better just because it's less known and people will want to see it. But they tend to not do as great as like Marvel and DC because they're spending $300 million to produce a Marvel movie these days. So
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of producers who make $8 million films,
yeah,
$20 million films, so not everything has to be a big like Avengers, part one and two type
I just feel
deal.
like with superhero though, it's really hard to do a lower budget unless it is something like a Hellboy. You could do lower budget because really it's just his costume. There's no really major superpowers where you have, to have what's it called the explosions and the
Special effects, all
special
the
effects. Yeah.
yeah.
Like if you could find out how to do it without all the special effects, you could do a really good film without that. But and they got them flying, shooting things out of their eyes and arms, and that's where it starts to get really expensive.
Think of like Kick-Ass, right?
Yeah,
Kick-Ass
Kick-Ass is
is great.
perfect. I bet you that
Kick-Ass
cost
is great.
Mark Miller and everybody else. I bet you that cost them $12 million to put that film together. Uh,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
See,
And it's has to have made a $500 million by now over the years. It's on TV all the time now. And there's a rumor that he's going to have a Kick-Ass Wolverine comic coming out, which
oh
is
my God, more
crazy.
crossover, more crossovers,
Or
more
crossovers, yeah.
cross, Wolverine cross. Minion, we want to do animation.
Yeah,
That's
that
kind
would be
of our
cool.
aim for that.
That would be good.
Uh, future sci-fi,
Yeah,
superhero, supervillain kind of genre, but that would be too hard to do live action, right?
exactly.
So I would like to lean into animation. Oh, always been an anime fan too, Mason as well. So,
Yeah,
you know, we're not afraid of that. Cowboy Bebop,
yeah.
that was this series that we both loved, so
That would be cool, man. Well, Chris, man, I'm so happy for you, man. You're one of my favorite guys, man. I'm so glad everything's working out for you. Cannot wait for my issue 3 of the First Americans. That's such a
yeah.
here, man. I mean, did you realize it was going to be that big when the issue 1 came out? Did you go, I think this is going to be the one that really takes off, or
I mean, I can always gauge from comic conventions because it's the same deal, it's the same interest level. It's people come up for Zombie Zero a lot. They
yep,
came up for the Cowboy with Many Hats, that cover, and then the First Americans, and just so many people were like, "Oh, this is a cool, interesting idea. Oh, I can actually show this like in my classroom. I can actually bring this in a classroom."
yeah,
Um, so it's a different book. So
yeah,
I knew it would do well, but to be able to print it up again, do an print more, have a
mhm.
B cover, actually have a C cover. I was never like I'm going to do a bunch of covers. No, I'm going to keep away from that. It's like no, now I'm going to boost
I
those
mean,
numbers
as long
a
as you
bit.
do like a first print cover, a second print, I think that's okay. It's when you come out with issue 1 first print and you have 20 covers for that first print.
Yeah,
Like, man, Dynamite is like the king of doing that. It's got like 20. I think I was talking to the creator of Gargoyles, and he said issue 1 of Dynamite when the Gargoyles comic came out had 50 covers.
50.
50. Because you got like a 1 in 1,000, a 1 in 750, a 1 in 500, a 1 in 250, a 1 in 50 or 150, 25, 10, and then it had like 9 covers. So he said it was just popular. They sold a whole lot of them. I know in my shop, and it's a small shop in Hemet when I lived out there, I think he had like 8 or 9 covers and they sold out quick because the cartoon with Disney was so popular. So all these kids are now at buying age, teenagers, young adults, and they just ate it up.
I interned for Boom when they had Adventure Time, and issue 1 it was like every cover under the sun,
Yeah.
and con cover this and con cover that. I mean, I was interning there, so I was like, well, they let me take some copies for free. I guess this is how I get paid. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
like every issue 1, of it.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, it'd be interesting to do a First American San Diego Comic Con, or if you get into New York to do a New York Comic Con cover. They're big enough to where you could get through, 100, 200 of those, I think, at a show, just because
Yeah.
sheer amount of people that'll walk by your booth.
Well, we just started doing the 150,
Okay.
cover C print runs,
Yeah, yeah.
and that had been well. Tad was just like, I want to do another cover, and I was like, let's do it, man.
Do it. Well, I know
I
you
mean,
could talk to San Diego Comic Con and they allow you to use their emblem for cons. Same with New York. So I got to
yeah,
talk to them, and that's pretty cool, man. That's like very unique. I have an Invincible one from I can't remember what con it was. It's from many years ago, and thing's worth like $900 now because
900
they made a
bucks.
few hundred of them.
The
Yeah,
print runs,
yeah. There, I think
but
it was like 250 or something like that. It was small back then. So, and then they were like on issue 30 or 40 by the time, maybe even more. And they just went back and redid issue 1, but did it for that con, and it's worth a lot. So,
well, hopefully I get this cover from Dustin for Minion and turn that into the next Invincible, and
you know
then
who you need to talk to is John Boy Myers.
John Boy Myers.
Yeah, he does covers. He did Matthew Schofield. He has Steamroller Man. I don't know if you know Matthew.
Hmm. John
It's a
Connors, huh?
comedy comic book. It is hilarious. It literally is a superhero, but his head is a steamroller.
Eh.
It's awesome, man. And I got his issue one and I freaking loved it. So now he's like legit doing Kickstarters. He was kind of doing it on the side. He is a storyboard director for The Simpsons and has been working on The Simpsons for 23 years, something like that, 25
Oh,
years.
wow.
Yeah, he's amazing. Lives probably close to where you're at. Great guy, originally from Australia, so he got that little accent. I've had him on a couple times, and I see him at the cons. But now he's getting his own boost and stuff because his title has become so popular. And I got the John Boy Myers one on his last Kickstarter. And if it's superhero related specifically, John Boy he's one of my favorite artists.
I think it's just good for collectors, and
Yeah, it's a big
everyone knows, like as an indie publisher, our print runs aren't too enormous.
exactly.
So our B covers are rare and the C covers are really rare. So, if Natural Geographic picks up the first Americans or
There
something,
you
maybe
go, man.
it's popular.
That's awesome, Chris. Well, Chris, I always love seeing you, man. My plan is to try and be at San Diego Comic Con, so I'll talk to you later, see what we could do.
Yeah, good.
I would love to be there, and yeah, man, anything you need from me, I'm always willing to help. So just let me
Yeah,
know.
we'll be at the same place. So, maybe I'll get you a badge here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, I'll pay for it, man. I'll pay for it. All good, my friend.
I might have some free ones coming to me. So,
Okay, well, we'll talk after, man. We'll talk. I promise I'll buy issue three of First
uh,
Americans and all the other titles, man. I think I have almost everything that you put out, so I don't think I'm missing it. I might be missing five and six of Planetary expansion, though. I think I only have one through four, if I remember. But I'll have to look when I get back home. It's been a while since I've looked, so but I'll go on your
yeah.
website and grab them.
And did I get you the God as a Bullet
I
too?
got
Yeah.
that one. I got that at San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah. And th this one, the full graphic novel, is available on Kindle and Comixology.
Oh, okay, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, you
nice.
know, so doing film stuff too. So, film comics.
You love it, bro. I love it, man. It's incredible, bro. Yeah, you're doing it right, Chris. I know it's a grind, man, but you're doing it right.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, you're one of my favorites, man. Well, I appreciate you, Chris. We'll get this out as soon as possible, get the word out of all the great things that are coming. I'll make sure everything is below. So as you're watching this, all the information you need to get over and grab these comics either from your comic shop or you could go to criticalentertainmentla.com. I'll put that down there as well. That way you could go to the website if you want to get some of these back issues before they sell out. He's already selling out of a bunch of stuff. So make sure you get over there and pick it up. But Chris, as always, my friend, always appreciate you, and you're always welcome.
Oh, thank you. You're part of the reason why we've been doing well. So, I
I
appreciate
love it.
it.
Likewise, man. All right, Chris. Until next time, my friend. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon.
All right. See
Take
ya.
it easy.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.